This is One Sentence News, a daily podcast featuring 3 news stories with a sentence-long summary and 1 sentence of context apiece. I'm Colin Wright. It's Thursday, December 30th, 2021. Let's talk about the news. From the Associated Press, new COVID cases in U.S. soar to highest levels on record. The number of new confirmed COVID cases in the United States has hit a fresh all-time high, surpassing 265,000 per day for the first time. And the U.S. isn't alone in tallying record infection numbers, as France has reported their own record of 208,000 new cases in a 24-hour period, the highest ever for a European country. These U.S. numbers were released in the wake of a dramatic correction by the CDC, which on Tuesday said its original estimation of how many new COVID cases in the U.S. were of the Omicron variant was way off. They said about 73% originally, but after all the data came in, they revised that down to 22.5%. Official numbers now say 58.6% of all new U.S. COVID infections are Omicron, which is thought to be connected to the relatively low COVID-related hospitalizations we're seeing compared to previous waves. Infection numbers are up about 60% over the previous week, while hospitalizations are only up about 14% over the same period. From the Wall Street Journal, China lodges complaint after alleged near collision with Elon Musk's SpaceX satellites. Chinese astronauts aboard their country's orbital space station apparently had to take emergency evasive action a few times in 2021 in order to dodge satellites put into orbit by SpaceX for its growing Starlink satellite network. Starlink will ultimately consist of tens of thousands of small satellites if SpaceX has its way, and all those satellites are meant to beam internet connectivity down to Earth and eventually around the solar system as well. Many parties, ranging from other governments to astronomers, have complained about the sheer quantity of stuff being shot into orbit, however. And these sorts of encounters, though not rare today, the International Space Station and many satellites have had to dodge equipment and debris on a semi-regular basis, are expected to become even more common as SpaceX and their satellite internet competitors continue to fill orbital lanes with more of these devices. And from Reuters, Hong Kong pro-democracy Stand News closes after police raids. Pro-democracy Hong Kong media outlet Stand News has been shut down after police raided its offices, the government froze its assets, and senior staff members were arrested for producing and distributing a, quote, seditious publication, end quote. This is just the most recent Hong Kong-based media entity to be shut down by an increasingly aggressive Chinese government. Hong Kong citizens have long enjoyed relative freedom of expression compared to people living in mainland China. But over the past few years, Hong Kong locals and institutions have been brought under heel, with many prominent politicians, business people, and activists either arrested or black-bagged by Chinese security forces. Stand News was the most prominent pro-democracy media entity remaining in Hong Kong after another publication, Apple Daily, was closed, the people behind it jailed, earlier this year. If you're finding some value in One Sentence News, consider leaving a quick review wherever you get your podcasts and/or sharing the show with a friend. You can find out more about this show or subscribe to the email version at onesentencenews.com. And you can support this and other related projects, like the Let's Know Things and Brain Lenses podcasts, at understandery.com.